was a dark night.
The history of this glorious university, the one and only Makerere University,
the center of knowledge,
the pride of this nation.
It's not clear what really happened.
Yes, it's not really clear what happened to this glorious and magnificent building, the Ivory Tower, situated in the heart of Makerere University. We are a group of individuals, students, going to really look into what happened to this building and find out. With my team here, we have the equipment ready and everything is set. We are going to find out from the students and also our student leaders about what they think went wrong and what we should expect from this establishment as we look into the future of reviving what happened, reviving what was there, and reviving the glory of this great university.
At the Makerere hilltop, in the center heart of Makerere University, is a foot foundation of the renowned Ivory Tower. Over the years, there are many buildings that have been held crown jewels for the institution, from the very first permanent building of 1923 that stands at the School of Education, the tall Mary Stuart, the large Lumumba Hall, to the modern structure styles like the Senate Building, the library, the Central Teaching Facilities 1 and 2, and many other buildings that may appease your sight around the university. Not even one of these is much for the Ivory Tower, constructed with an original classic touch, with a British touch, a plan that was designed by the Englishman Newton for a building that would stand for hundreds of years. The area from the guest house to the quarry flats was a golf course bisected by the Lincoln Road. In 1938, it was the Duke of Gloucester, representing King George V of England, who cut the first sword for the construction of the building. In an honor grand ceremony that was held in a plot at this golf course, the work of constructing the Ivory Tower started right away in that year, but it was interrupted by the Second World War, as much of the material was imported from Europe, and she was now at war. Wars are quite expensive, so Britain, the main funders of the construction, resorted to funding their war with their allies. As a result, some material had to be done on site from the technical school, and most of the timber was designed by the artisans. But serious construction resumed quickly after the war. In 1941, under the leadership of George Turner as Chancellor, the building was magnificently erected and finished. It was a titanic structure that boasts all buildings around the university. And for the golf course, it ceased to exist that very year, for the Ivory Tower had stood. You know the Christ the Redeemer monument in Brazil? Or the Statue of Liberty in the States? You know them, right? Oh, drawing closer home, the African Renaissance in Senegal. Now that is the Ivory Tower to Makerere University. With a T-shaped floor design, it is a unique 20th century British architecture, which on site completes the saying, "Old is gold." In its very middle of the building is a tower, on which below it is the main door that donates entrance into the building. On the topmost of it is bare stone with 4 arches and a mighty bell within them. The building hosts topmost offices in the university, boardrooms, archives, the main printery, lecture rooms, a hall. For years it has been a tourist attraction, rolling in visitors into the Makerere University. The Ivory Tower is what many so call the iconic building, the signature, the crown jewel there is. At least it was until, unfortunately, the 20th of September 2020, when a mystery fire devoured the popular Ivory Tower. The fire burnt hard, wood to ashes, walls cracked and fallen, stained. It burnt deep into every student and alumni's heart of Makerere University. What is Makerere without the Ivory Tower? What went wrong?
20th September 2020 was a really sad moment for this country as the iconic Makerere Ivory Tower went up in flames during an investigation or an event that really people didn't really get into the bits of it. But we are here to find out what people think should be done to avoid such future circumstances, because it is an iconic landmark in the capital, in the country, and as the world as well, because it holds the iconic symbol of education that settled down in the country. Let's find out what the Makerere Ivory Tower meant to the people of Uganda.
My name is Alan. I am a student at Makerere University, currently a third year, doing Bachelor of Arts with Education. I'm a teacher of literature and English.
My name is Daniel.
Daniel Okoche. Yeah, okay.
Oh, I'm Liz.
Yeah.
Fiona. Fifi. Sylvia.
Sylvia. And okay, so what do you guys think happened to the iconic building?
To begin with, we must know that Makerere is an institution that was not constructed to have particularly leaks that would cause fire outbreaks accidentally. Well, even if that could be an option, but I don't think it was basically an accidental outbreak of fire.
Well, I think the main building was burnt, according to the sources. I think it was burnt, and that was during lockdown when no one was actually on campus. Yes.
Okay, personally, I'm not all that sure, but I just heard it got burnt. Maybe some political issues which I don't know.
Yeah, rumors here and there about the propaganda of who ate money what, and and then someone was trying to cover it up, and it burnt the first time, then it burnt the second time. It was really hilarious at the end of the day.
See, when an organization gets to become bureaucratic, it means there is a particular level of corruption happening in there. Basically, a lot of corruption happening in there. So, first off, it was COVID, and desperate times call for desperate measures. Particular motives come in, and people want particular ways of adjusting. But this wasn't an adjustment. I think the Ivory Tower was intentionally burnt.
Okay.
Well, not to send a message, but to send an ideology to people that are pursuing for particular realities about Makerere University. You notice that it was basically the most significant bit of it that got damaged. And I don't think it's something that is going to be revived in a way that it was previously.
What was the Ivory Tower to you as a student of this institution?
Technically, before I came into campus, everything that represented Makerere was this building. It's like a badge, and whenever you were supposed to say, okay, sorry, before you said, I want to go to Makerere, you'd associate with the building.
First off, the Ivory Tower was and is the eye of MOOC. It's a significance of building for the future. So basically, it's everything that MOOC stands for. I think it was the most important statue that would describe the ability of Makerere University to produce.
So the current reconstruction, do you believe that it's going to be in its original state, or we are going to see a whole new building?
I hope so. I think they have contracted the architects that can actually bring it back to its glory.
Okay.
I think, of course, when they are renovating that place, they'll bring about changes that maybe they wanted to have before, but they couldn't because it was already in place.
Okay.
So maybe it will be better than it has been. Because first of all, it was old, so the renovations, I think it will be good.
I think it will be better because at first
the materials were a bit, how can I say, old, and like civilization was not all that. So I think it would be better because most of the things have improved. So
Yeah, I think it is going to be put back into its original shape, according to the Vice Chancellor's words.
Okay.
That is Professor Barnabas Nawangwe, and I may say we are lucky that he's back. He's the man that was in office when it got banned.
Okay.
So I expect he knows what exactly it looked like.
may I think it will be, maybe they are planning to add other maybe nice things
Will it
that we are not included, maybe.
better or worse?
Better.
Better. Do you think that this building will stand as it was, or there is never going to be another tower?
See, two things can't happen twice the same way. The first stone that was laid for this building will not be the same amount of energy that will be for the second one. As you can see, well, construction is happening, but I don't think they are going to bring it out as significant as it was. They already burnt down the image of Makerere University when this came down. They are only consolidating their inefficacies. They are putting up themselves a blurry image for you to see that the tower exists, but the significance of that tower was burnt down the first time it came down.
Wow, the students have had their say. It's really quite interesting. But I'll have to pose a question to the team. Letitia, what do you think?
Personally, I think there is a lot of absurdity in the burning of this building, because the fact that the building was in between two churches and it got burnt alone and the churches were not affected. That is really so absurd. And the fact that the fire started from the secretary's office, of all offices, why that office?
What I think, we should ask a student leader.
We have heard from the students what they think happened to this magnificent tower. So here we are at Livingstone Hall with one of the student leaders that is going to tell us exactly what they also think, their view on this very, very passionate topic, and also what they as student leaders are doing to mitigate such things from happening in the university. I hand over to you, Isaac.
Well, thank you very much. I'm here, I won't say very much. We're here with one of the student leaders of Makerere University. He will introduce himself, and as we dig deep into the matter of the heart, what happened actually here. I hand it over to you, sir. Introduce to us who you are. And
Right, thank you very much for having me here. My name is Remodwe Hilary, and I'm a student leader at Makerere University. Currently, before the suspension of the leadership structures at Makerere, I was serving as the Speaker of College of Humanities and Social Sciences, Speaker School of Languages, Literature and Communication, and also aspiring JRC in the 88th Guild House, and also the moderator of the Mark Bench. Thank you so much for having me here.
well, wow, that's quite a huge number of titles that you carry on your back. It actually brings me to this question. Since we're entering into the matter of the heart, we want to find out actually, what did the Makerere Icon Tower mean to you as a student?
Yes, to start with, when I was in primary 5 and primary 6, I got a lot of inspiration about my mzee, who used to expose a lot of Makerere University books in our rooms at home, and these books always had the picture of the Ivory Tower. And time reached when my decision I made when I was in secondary was to actually be at Makerere, irrespective of the course I wanted to do, just because of the Ivory Tower, because that is what we used to think Makerere is. In fact, for us, we thought everything about Makerere is the iconic building. You get, so I must say that building has been the face of the university. It has been a very, very important building. If you check in the newspapers, in the media, everywhere, this building represented Makerere, and I can tell you it has been the face. It has inspired a lot of people just like me. One of the reasons why I wanted to come and be in Makerere, to study in Makerere, was to associate with the Ivory Tower, the iconic building, because it was a sign of intellectualism, a sign of greatness, and so it was a very important facility that inspired a lot of people to come to the mighty hill.
Okay. Very interesting that the first thing that appears to every person that thinks of Makerere, that the tower.
Yes.
I just want to get your opinion on your own opinion.
Yes.
What you actually think may have gone wrong for this to happen, because we have had a bit of chase here trying to investigate and find out what has happened. From your own opinion.
Yeah, I think that thing, the sudden incident that later took off the prestigious building that we honored so much in our life took place in 2020, when we were actually waiting to join the university, and by then I'd just sat senior 6. But I think generally there was a question of negligence on the side of the university administration, because I was wondering why a prestigious university like Makerere University can actually have a big facility like that one without monitoring networks. There were no facilities, there are no security officers to monitor such a building. The kind of university Makerere is. And even because what is very interesting is that when the fire broke out, they tried to tame and contain the first outbreak. Then later again, fire broke out. So I get convinced that perhaps the university did not play its role in protecting the building. I might not know much in regards to the exact cause of the fire, where it broke out from. But the university, because if you look at this Yusuf Lule building, it has fire alarms. That should have been in the main building. I mean, the face of the university. In fact, that building is Makerere. So there was negligence, there was laxity on the side of administration, and so the building had to get burned, a thing that represented the university. So I blame the university administration so much, because they should have protected the building.
That is very interesting. Now it brings me back to a question. Just listening to what you have said, there was negligence from the administration.
Yes.
Now you're part of the administrators of this university. I would like to get the perspective of the student leaders. What do you think you guys can actually work in hand with to avoid such things that to ever happen again at the university?
Yes.
What are the steps you guys are taking?
Yeah, thank you. Being a student leader, of course, I understand we have general duties, but at Makerere University, we have a full department of estates management, a department that manages facilities, structures, and all the estate kind of facility in Makerere University. And so we also at the guild, there is a minister, a student leader responsible for estates and management of facilities around the university. So I don't know much they have been doing, but as a guild, and I wouldn't want to speak for a guild cabinet, I've not been in, but as student leaders, we have always tried our best to ensure that we speak to the administration to ensure first and foremost, for example, in Sibirwa, because such a thing that took place with the Ivory Tower can take place even here in Livingstone, it can take place to any hall. We have encouraged the installation of fire extinguishers so that we don't experience such a very nasty incident, because these are historical buildings. These are prestigious buildings. If you look at these buildings of Makerere University, you won't see them in UCU. You're not going to see them in Mbarara University. You will not even see them among any modern facilities people are coming up with. These are even, in fact, tourist attraction sites. These are buildings which you don't just see anywhere. So the university should, like we have always told them, ensure such things don't happen. It's not just even about fire, but also other things can happen. There are other more things that can happen to these buildings, and we have always encouraged protection, security, to ensure that we keep these buildings because they mean a lot.
Oh, okay. Very interesting. Before I let you go, I would like to find out one thing.
Yes.
What are your expectations of the prestigious, iconic building? What are your expectations? Do you believe as a student, now we speak from the perspective of a student, should it be restored back to its original form, or we can actually go with the trend of making it much better?
I mean, there is nothing better to add on the Ivory Tower. I want you to interest yourself And I don't know when you joined the Makerere University, but if you joined a little bit earlier before, it's the tragedy that befell it, because me, I was in high school, but I could come to Makerere and I would go to the Ivory Tower. My museum would move with me there for tourism. The Ivory Tower, in my view, if I had the powers or if I had the capacity, should be restored to exactly what was there. I have told you, these are buildings that were put up by the British in the past. These buildings are not seen anywhere. You can come in the whole of Africa and you're not going to see such buildings. You'll not see such facilities. It should be restored the way it was. Nothing should be removed. We want the blue lines to look the way they used to be. Are you getting? We want the topmost, the tower and the ding dong bell to be there. Because these are things that need to be preserved. Are you getting? These are things that need to be preserved because they inspire and even they attract people to come, and Makerere can be turned into a tourism site. You get the point? But for the Ivory Tower, please, I encourage, if you're there watching this, if you are the administration in charge of the reconstruction, we need this building to come back the way the whites built it, because this is our prestige. In fact, that building is Makerere University. Leave alone the new buildings they have put up in Sedat and everywhere. This is a modern building. We want the historical Makerere University building to come back to its shape.
The gates beside thee, great and mighty, the walls around thee, great and mighty, the gates beside thee.
Yeah, we've heard from the student leaders. Actually, just one student leader, because we really couldn't get all this because of this whole suspension of the council and everything like that. So many of those who would love to hear from declined to do this. And also, we would have loved to go into the building and find out from the engineers what they think and what they are planning to, lay down for the establishment or re-establishment of the building. But of course, due to legal procedures and all that, it's really a secretive. It's a secretive process. I really can't say more than that. So we couldn't go much into what's going on inside. But let's hear from Isaac.
Okay, from we have heard from the student leader, and actually picked a point of the staff being a little bit unserious, where at the other points at the university that has fire alarms, and then the building did not have fire alarms, and then he talked of being, as student leaders, are working together with the administration of Makerere. Of course, they have levels, and they're trying to work hard to ensure that certain things do not happen. But on my personal view, this thing caught me when we were watching news, and it was just breaking news. And coming to the university, as the former student said, that that was what drew him near. I also expected to come and see that building, but unfortunately we have missed it. But we hope that this can be restored back to how it was built, so that I can also get a view of experiencing it myself, not on the magazine, and also ensure that these things don't happen again.
In agreement with one of the members, I would also love to have that building renovated to its original shape, because I didn't get a chance to enter it, and it's like the glory of the university that I'm studying in. Most of the people outside there think the Ivory Tower is Makerere University itself. So how will I tell people that I've never entered the glory of Makerere University yet I'm a student? I don't feel like I should start pointing fingers at this juncture, but I feel like this big village has a station. So if this event really happened in the night, I guess those people should have rain to secure the place.
I'm wondering, where was the security and the CCTV cameras they were talking about? Because man, didn't they capture anything?
Makerere is a very big university. Everyone that talks about Makerere feels like, okay, it is Makerere, like it is an icon in Uganda. But then the other issue is these people in Makerere, it's like they've forgotten to, have certain things repaired. For example, the sockets. Even in our lecture rooms, there's some lecture rooms you go to and the wires are disorganized, which is not a good thing. So if there are rumors that the fire was connected to electricity, it could be true. And in my opinion, I think the university should work hand in hand with whoever is in charge to have those electric wires renovated. They should be serviced, because it happened at the Ivory Tower, but next time it could happen to a lecture room. Who knows?
It could also happen to Senate building, not only the lecture room.
CTF2, CTF1, the auditorium, many places here. So many places. Even the library, can you imagine? Even the halls, there are many
And for the
halls
halls,
in
it's even worse.
The too much research we've made as a group has taught me how the Ivory Tower was so unique and with that original style of it. So I'm asking I just have a question. What is Makerere University without the Ivory Tower? What really went wrong? But when you ask me my expectations, I expect the same style to be erected again at that foot foundation.
When they renovate the building, they should be serious. They should put security around, cameras, then even the fire extinguishers. They should be serious. They should not be like the way they did when the building was bad.
The building was constructed by those white people. So now, I think since it was burned down and it can't go back, I just hope for the best, since it's going to be constructed by our own engineers of Uganda and our own products. And I think it will be much better. Okay, it won't look like the old tower we used to have, but it will look much better. To me, I think it will look better to the incoming generation, or to those people who are going to come in. You see a different picture for what we used to see or to what we used to see.
Okay, so we have heard from different people. We have had reports from everywhere, though we really didn't have the time to get into what the authorities say and what the security and all those that are concerned with the renovation of this building. But to you out there, to you who is watching, the alumni and everyone has an opinion. Everyone thinks this went wrong. There has not been a clear report that has been given by those who are in charge investigating. We would have loved to talk to those people, but this is really a sensible and a sensitive matter that not everyone would have to comment on. But the question is out there: what do you think went wrong, and what should we expect as Ugandans towards the renovation of this glorious building? Thank you for watching.
to check. There's actually a documentary I did in the early days of 2021 about the Ivory Tower, because there was no hope that the building would be restored. You can check on YouTube and THS Media. I did this documentary to call on the university administration to take up a very serious step in regarding the reconstruction of the Ivory Tower, because that building is Makerere. There's nothing, we cannot think about any house in this university. It is that building that makes Makerere.
We have a wedding.
We also new, we don't know what is taking place here. We are attending the wedding ceremony here, then we go back. We are from.
Do you know? You've known this building?
No, this is the first time to come.
First time you come.
I don't even know the imagine.
The reconstructing it.
Yeah, the reconstruction.
Hello.
You're not recording that, right?
No. Okay, it's okay. Yes, one.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Jana unyo wanti
In Uganda.
But I'm still wondering if this